Pokemon is known for its cheery and positive attitude, but these adorable little creatures aren't always happy. Buckle in and get out some tissues. My name is Fur, and this is my top 10 list of the saddest Pokemon cards ever made.
Number 10.
Magikarp from Expedition. At first glance, this card doesn't seem like one of the most depressing Pokemon cards ever. But look a little deeper. Look at their facial expressions. All the Magikarp are clearly distressed. This one literally looks like it's screaming. And look at the Poliwhirl in the background. Both are waving goodbye, also with distressed looks in their eyes. And this one has its eyes closed as if he can't even look anymore. What is happening here? The reason this card is number 10 and not lower in the list is because it really is up for interpretation, since it's not exactly clear what exactly is going on. Are the Magikarp about to fall to their doom and the current is just too strong so they can't swim back and these Poliwhirl can't stand to watch this happen? I don't know, but whatever is going on here definitely isn't a happy situation given all of their facial expressions. I remember having this card as a kid and always being saddened by it. No joke.
Number 9.
Misty's Tears from Gym Challenge. Look at this. Misty is literally crying. What happened to her that made her do this? Who did this to her? Where do they live? I need to know now! The only reason this card isn't lower on the list is because she has a cute little Squirtle poetically wiping her tears away, which makes this card more bittersweet rather than just straight up sad.
How come you're crying? Did you get something in your eye?
Number 8.
This next card is another one that isn't lower on the list only because it is kind of up for interpretation, but I think you'll all agree with me that this card is pretty furring dark. The Rocket's Training Gym from the set Gym Heroes. Just look at what's happening here. There's a Scyther in some kind of dark jail cell where it looks like he's being forced to battle an electric type Pokemon for training. Whoever made this card definitely had a dark picture in mind. And if you don't believe me that this card is just plain sad, I want you to look closer. Is that blood? This card paints a very different, more evil side of Team Rocket that we definitely didn't see in the anime.
What? We've had part-time jobs.
No way you'll be able to beat us at manual labor!
Number 7.
Drowsy from EX Delta Species. Now, this card doesn't even need an explanation. I mean, just look at it. Look how miserable Drowsy is. He must have already been having an awful day, so he's out by himself in the pouring rain just being miserable. And then to make it even worse, an apple literally falls from a tree and hits him right in the head. But I think what's sad about it is that he's yelling at the tree for doing this to him. Like, he's just so miserable, he doesn't even know who to blame for his sadness anymore, so he literally blames a tree. Why, Jamakazu? Why?
Number 6.
Charmander from Burning Shadows. Okay, when I first pulled this card, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't look into it much. But it just recently hit me how depressing this card really is. It's a known fact about Charmander that if his tail fire goes out, he dies. Yup, he literally just dies. And look at what's happening in this card. Charmander is lost in some forest, in the rain, looking helpless. Look at those sad eyes. And the illustrator even put in little shivers around him. This little guy doesn't have much time left. Where's your trusty drying pan now, Brock?
Hey, I know. I'll use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan.
Number 5.
Who's the happiest Pokemon of them all? The most cheery Pokemon. The Pokemon that is literally smiling as it approaches its doom. It's Wooper! Whoa, wait a minute, Wooper? Wooper from Aquapolis is probably the only time Wooper is ever seen with a frown, ever. Like I said, this is a Pokemon who's literally always smiling. Whatever happened to make him frown here must have been pretty bad. Poor guy. I just feel sad just looking at this card.
Number 4.
Lombre from EX Sandstorm. This card needs no explanation. Just give him a good look and you start to feel sadness in its purest form. This Lombre is clearly heartbroken, and it's kind of eerie because we have no idea why. Maybe he just watched the episode where Ash and Brock part ways. I know that made me feel like this for a few days.
You can do it, Pokemon Dr. Brock.
Pokemon Master Ash, you can too. Yes!
Number 3.
Speaking of heartbreak, Alma Knight from EX Legend Maker knows all about that. Poor little Alma Knight. You can see him shedding a tear, but then when you look closer, behind him are two happy Alma Knight, and the bubbles above them make a perfect heart. The situation isn't exactly clear, but it's pretty obvious, and the saddest situation I could come up with is that this Alma Knight and this Alma Knight were happily in love, and then this Alma Knight came along and stole this Alma Knight away, leaving this Alma Knight forever alone. Come on, Kenkichi, just because your girl left you isn't an excuse for you to make this poor Alma Knight lose his love too. It just isn't fair, man. But anyway, this card definitely is really sad because you feel bad for poor little innocent Alma Knight, and it's just not like Pokemon to make such like a heartbreaking scenario.
Number 2.
Now, number 2 might be surprising to you guys that it isn't number 1, because it's famously the most sad Pokemon. That's right, Cubone. If you don't know the story of Cubone, his mother died and he literally wears her skull to remember her by, suffering from depression. Wow. That's pretty sad for Pokemon. This one was tough because there are several very sad Cubone cards. Look at this one where he's looking up at the night sky, obviously thinking of his mother as this innocent little guy sheds a tear. Or this one where he's just so defeated. The poor guy collapses on the ground and cries over his dead mother. But the winner for the saddest Cubone card to me is Cubone from Breakthrough. This card is sad on a whole new level. Cubone is at an amusement park, sitting by himself, clenching onto his mother's bone, as he's just so sad from seeing a happy mother and a child right in front of him. I just can't even believe that Pokemon did this. When someone thinks of Pokemon, they think of these cute little adorable creatures doing silly things. Not this. Not this.
Number 1.
But surprisingly, Cubone is not number 1. What if I told you there is a card even more heart-wrenching than that? That's right, guys. We have unlocked the final level of woke sadness. And the number 1 saddest Pokemon card ever made, in my opinion, is Ladybug from Neo Destiny. The reason I chose this card for number 1 is because while the Cubone story is sad, this Ladybug's facial expression is by far the saddest I've ever seen on a Pokemon. Because unlike the other Pokemon cards, like the Cubone cards, Ladybug isn't just shedding a tear. She's crying. No. She is sobbing. And it looks like she's kind of hiding behind that rock too. So maybe she just witnessed a loved one getting stomped on like a bug. So she's hiding behind this rock so it doesn't happen to her too. And I mean, she's literally a bug. So that's very possible. I don't know, just the pure terror of Ladybug's face in this card. Such an innocent, cute little Ladybug. That is why it is the number 1 saddest Pokemon card to me. Let me know in the comments down below what card really hit you in the feels the most, and subscribe for more Pokemon card videos. This was my first top 10 videos and I had a lot of fun making it, so give this video a like if you liked it and I will be sure to do more. I love you guys, bye!